Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me. Always appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the versatility of the Zoom Speed Craw here. Guys, this is probably the most versatile soft plastic creature bait out there. There's literally like a dozen different ways to fish it, and it's good all year long, with maybe the exception not so much in the winter time. But I'm going to talk about it today, guys, and sort of talk about the different ways that you can fish it at different times of the year. I think it's going to add up to some good fish for you guys if you incorporate that into your techniques. Also, guys, a quick reminder before we get started that Solarbat has got a sale on my RB3 and RB2 series sunglasses during the month of September. You can get them at 20% off all through the month of September. I'll put the Solarbat link in the description if you guys like to order a pair, or you can also get them at Tackle Warehouse. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description for the glasses as well. So I think you guys would really like to try them out. They're really good, some good sunglasses. Okay guys, Speed Craw, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is I fished that BFL tournament up at Table Rock Lake this past weekend, and my partner, he made the final day cut with me, catching him on a Speed Craw behind me. I was throwing a crankbait and he was throwing a Speed Craw. He was actually throwing it like on a little jig head, you know, just with nothing on it, just a jig head and a Speed Craw, just pitching it to the rocks. And it made me think, looking back, how many different types of techniques that you can actually fish with a Speed Craw. So we're going to get into that a little bit based upon the color. Now there's 3 different colors that I like to fish on a Speed Craw. One is the blue sapphire right here. The blue sapphire is one of my favorite, like a jig color. It's really good for a jig trailer, especially like on a swim jig. One of the things that I do on this that makes it a little bit unique is I'll take some black dye and I'll dye most of the body black and just leave the pinchers blue. That gives you a black and blue craw that you can't buy from Zoom. And also, guys, I'll link the Speed Craw link in my Tackle Warehouse link if you guys would like to try some. But the blue sapphire is really good. And then I also like the June bug. The June bug is really good if you're fishing in Florida or any type of grass lake. Also, this is one of my favorite pitching and flipping colors for just, you know, Texas rigging it. And then finally, the just any type of a green pumpkin or watermelon is real good for a lot of different ways we'll talk about. So I'm going to get into each color. Now, when you're talking about the natural colors, like the watermelons and green pumpkins, there are a lot of different ways you can fish it. One of my favorite ways is to bite off about 1/2 inch of it and put it on a finesse jig, a real small jig. It's an excellent jig trailer. It's got some nice flapping tails, but it's still a small profile. Texas rigging it is another good way. Just put it on like a 1/4 ounce sinker, pitch it and flip it around. It's one of the best Carolina rigging colors that you can have. A Speed Craw, guys, is a great Carolina rig bait. There's so many guys that this is like their secret smallmouth bait up north, but any type of a natural color Speed Craw is really good on a Carolina rig. Also a swing head jig, like you take a biffle head and put a Speed Craw on the back of a swing head jig. That's one of my favorite deals. Luke Clausen actually keyed me into that. And then just having it on a plain jig head like my partner was fishing the other day in this color. But any type of a natural looking Speed Craw, guys, this is just the bass catcher, man. The bass just love it. Now with the June bug a little bit more, I'm looking for a little bit more stained water. And there's 2 different ways I'll fish a June bug. One is just Texas rigging it, you know, just pitching it, flipping it, you know, sometimes up to a 1 ounce sinker. You can actually punch mats with a Speed Craw because it's a small enough bait that holds a good 3/0 flipping hook, and it penetrates those thick mats like in Florida. And it's really good as a swim jig color. You can put it on the back of a black and blue jig, makes a really good trailer for that. And then, of course, we just talked about the black and blue. It's pretty versatile for a swim jig or just pitching and flipping in general. But the main point of the video, guys, is just that the Speed Craw is one of the most versatile soft plastic creature baits there are out there. And one of the reasons for this is the length of it. Now, all the studies I've ever read on bass, as far as bass and crawdads, all of the studies, the scientific data that they've collected, and they've observed and studied bass in tanks with crawdads, a 3-inch crawdad is their favorite size for most any bass out there over about 1.5 pounds. And that's about what the Speed Craw is about, a 3-inch long crawdad. So it matches perfectly, you know, the length and diameter of the bait fish, the crawfish that the fish feed on. And ultimately, it's just, there's something about certain lures that they just get bit. A lot of times you can't really explain it because there are hundreds and hundreds of different type of soft plastics out there. But there's some that have stood the test of time, like the Zoom Speed Craw. There's just something about the action, the water displacement, the way it vibrates, the way it looks. It just gets a lot of bites. So it's really up to your imagination and creativity how you want to fish it. In my own personal opinion, I've caught more fish out of all the speed craw fishing that I've done. I've got a big box of them, guys. I got a whole box of speed craws here. They come in different sizes too. But my favorite is to take a green pumpkin finesse jig, bite off about 1/2 of an inch, put a watermelon or green pumpkin on it, a speed craw, dye the tail chartreuse, and just pitch and flip that little finesse jig with the speed craw trailer around any shallow wood cover, dock cover. It's a really good way to fish it. So anyway, hope it helps you guys catch a few more fish, guys, and we'll talk later.